Welcome to Real Fit Radio with B.
Why she acting like that, man? This is Jonathan, aka J.Lou.
It's been a minute.
It's been longer than a minute, I can tell you that. So talk to the people and let them know why we kind of, took a break and why you decided to come back.
It's we haven't done a podcast since 2017, so it's like you said, it's been longer than a minute. Real Fit Radio, for those of you who may be new to this or just listening for the first time, was originally started. The acronym is Real Fit Family Issues Talk Real Fit Radio, and it was actually created just to give a platform to just kind of have those good conversations, or have those good have a group of people come together and have good conversations about things that we weren't really hearing people talk about, if I'm saying it right. You know how you're somewhere and you're just like, dang, you had a real good conversation. I wish that's something I could have heard or I could have shared with, others. So the whole goal of it was to impact, empower, impart, and inspire. Thus, again, those conversations, we wanted to find a way to share those with others. Just different topics, views, but, again, family issues talk. We took a break, a long break. We just had a lot of irons in the fire. As we say, family. We have a lot of entrepreneurs in here, a lot of entrepreneurial endeavors. And something can easily get neglected. And I've always been a person, if I can't give 110%, I don't want to do it at all, or I'll just kind of put it on pause and we'll get back to it. We can give it our full attention. And now the world is on pause.
Man, for real, for real. But even before, because I know you said we was going to jump into this first one talking about this whole COVID-19, but just like in a not in a deep dive situation, but more or less how it affect, I guess, maybe you as a person. Like, how does the shutdown how did it affect your program? And then I'll talk about mine, I guess. But before that, you said we had endeavors, because this is kind of like a rebirth type episode. So what is it that you do? We need to know, the people need to know why we put this on hold. So what was that endeavor you jumped into? And I, obviously I'll tell mine, but, let them know.
Well, I have I'm real big on seeing others bring their passion and purpose to fruition. It is, I believe that's what I was put here to do. I'm a creative being at heart, and I find and get more joy of helping others, just give birth to that passion, that purpose. Like, let's create together. So that is my passion, that is my purpose. So I created my company, Creative Aspects, and I'm a consultant, a creative consultant, and my goal was to ask, seek, and knock in that manner, finding and connecting with people that have passion and purpose that may have put it on the back burner or kind of were stuck. Sometimes you have somebody that comes up with the app, but they don't actually create the app. So I was actively looking to connect with people that were at that stage, and it's like, let's create together. And in that, we have the other two in the house, Josiah, Jair. They have their entrepreneurial endeavors, and being that my passion is to create and assist others, I was just engulfed in that. And then even with you, with music and stuff like that. So there was no way I was going to, this was one of the many things where I'm just like, I want to do Real Fit. I want to do a podcast, so amongst that and other recess, that was something else that I wanted to do. And I'm doing that now. Recess, I'm really big on people not just coming together, but again, connecting, you know, and I see a lot of that where people will go in places. We do a lot of stuff together, whether it's room escape, we roller skate. I've always been a very active parent. We're a very unorthodox like family and the way we parent. So I've always done a lot of stuff with our kids from little on up, from when they were little on up. So I just started seeing, especially in their teens and adult, you know, Josiah's 20, we're going a lot of places and it's a lot of bodies, but nobody is really connecting. And sometimes when you see something, you don't just see it and talk about the need. You are the person that has to fill the void. You have to create what's missing. And I feel like a lot of people don't actually shoulder that weight. So I did that as well. That was another thing. So recess and creative aspects are two things that I just did not want to neglect. And in the very early stages, creative aspects was first, and then recess came. So you kind of see how Real Fit can I just knew I couldn't give it. And my husband is an artist as well. So, I mean, it was so many irons in the fire. I just didn't want to just neglect that passion. And so I felt like I can't give it 100. So let me just put it on pause. And we discussed it and we put it on pause.
Look, all that is definitely understandable. As she said, just reintroducing myself. Obviously, my name is Jonathan, but I go by J.Lou, and I'm a songwriter, recording artist, and stuff like that. And, you know, obviously, putting forth a lot of effort into music and trying to make sure that brand is solidified. That takes a lot of time and tedious work and stuff, like, you know, a lot of mental, what do you call it? A lot of mental battles and stuff. So I didn't have the time to actually lay into it either. But I got to thinking too, you know, especially with us being sat down and having a lot of time to think, you know, she gave me this call. I was just getting an oil change or something. She's like, you know what? We need to, you know, get back, you know, into doing a podcast. People were listening, and, you know, I know we got all this stuff going on with different endeavors, but I really think we should get it back a shot. Tell me what you think. And I was like, why not? Because I was trying to actually at the time figure out what else could I be doing, you know, outside of, you know, just embarking on music, because everybody knows that you have to have multiple streams of income. And I'm not crazy enough, especially after being in music as long as I have and studying and looking at other guys, that they don't have their hands in several other opportunities and things, even though it may not be plastered to the point like their music is, but they either investing in something or they opened a business where they're, you know, not necessarily being the head of it and running it, but franchises, things like that. I mean, Rick Ross got Wingstop. Joe retired and started a podcast. He got shows and all these different things. So rebranding. So I ain't even have to say that, dude. That man got his hand in everything. So I mean, from NFL on down to, you know, Tidal, which is a digital radio platform, or internet radio.
Multiple lucrative business investments.
Yeah, so, you know, I mean, and then I also looked at, I mean, the missus, she always say, you never know how God is going to bless you, so don't just turn your, turn or bat an eye and turn away from an opportunity that can put you in a place that you was looking for in the beginning. You know, every time I'm talking to people, or somebody may hit me in the grocery store and say, man, your voice is so powerful, you should, you know, do you do radio? So, and I still been hearing that today, and here we are, you know, with the podcast, and I'm looking at, music may be like, you know, I won't even say stagnant, because it's never stagnant, it's always progressing. But if I feel like that's not moving, or maybe that's not the door I'm supposed to walk through, maybe somebody hears this podcast and be like, this dude has a wonderful speaking voice, like I would love for him to do voiceovers, et cetera, et cetera. And then that gets eyes on me, and then it turns into, oh, well, dang, I didn't even knew he do music. Oh, I like his music. So now you grow a fan that way. So you just never know how the doors are supposed to open. I mean, and that's what Bear is always telling me, or B as she introduced herself as. And then the other interesting thing, and then we'll just jump into the main topic. Um, I haven't seen no or even heard of any like married people doing something together. Like this is unheard of for me because I mean, I know it's a lot of married people, married celebrities and stuff like that, and they have their own entities. Like, I guess the best example I can give is maybe Jada has the, what is it called? The Red Table Talk.
Yeah.
But Will lets her do that, and then Will has the acting where he's doing, obviously the big films and stuff. But I haven't seen or heard anybody, that is working together in unison and creating a content where the husband and wife is together. And I also think that's a neat idea because people need to know that it's cool to be married, man. You ain't gotta run around and be single YOLO like forever, you know what I'm saying? So when you have a partner that's as creative as B and and open minded as me, ooh, bars. But you know what I'm saying? It's just, I think it's a whole different audience that's out there that can be tapped into because, like I said, just like I haven't seen it, I'm sure there's other people that ain't seen it either. So, yeah, with that said, we gonna transition to the main thing about this shutdown. But I would like to do a disclaimer, like, cause this is like like I said, the rebirth or whatever. I'm gonna tell you, she's articulate and so am I, but I might use some colorful language. I'm not saying that I won't use my words, but I might get a little passionate sometime and I might say some stuff. So you grown, we grown. So that's all I want to let you know. I mean, it's not no PG-13, but it's not super X-rated where I'm gonna just be so ignorant to the point where I'm dropping F-bombs every other word. So I'm just letting you know I may say blah blah blah, but I ain't gonna do it just out of necessity right now. So I want to ask you, because you the one that's been running around in these grocery stores. So we gonna jump into this experience of this whole shutdown thing. What are some of the experiences you've been experiencing, like going to the stores? What's your mental space when you in there? Just different things. Like, how are you taking the whole situation that we going through right now?
Well, in all honesty, in the beginning, it wasn't so crazy that the whole social distancing and stuff, because I've always been like the odd one out or whatever. So that wasn't a big issue for me. I think just repositioning or changing my perspective of everything, because I was a shell shock. I've been the person that I'm at the store when it opens, or I love to take advantage of that 24 hours so I can get in there where there's no one in there. I'm the person at the movie theaters. I'm going to the 10 a.m., the 9 a.m. show, that first show that, and on a weekday. I don't move around on weekends. So I've always been kind of backwards, if you say the outlier. So for me, the biggest shell shock that I saw was the way that people have responded. And you're seeing it, I mean, the numbers. I mean, you just got to really see um how quickly information travels. I already knew that, but it was almost like it emphasized it again. It's just like, oh wow, you know it is because we have phones and all that, but toilet paper's flying off the shelves and people are, I mean, buying up hand sanitizer, and I'm just trying to go to the store for just getting another 24 pack just to replace it. I've always shopped like that, so I think I was just in like I can't even right now. Just I'm having a brain freeze right here. I was literally, just for lack of better words, I was just shocked to see how crazy it got. I'm like, you taking more than what you need. And so once I got past that, I really had to kind of sit, because I'm a thinker anyway. You know that. So I started, and this anybody that's a creative, we are constantly thinking. We don't evaluate things the same way. We don't look at stuff the same way somebody else or the majority of the others, the way the majority of others do. So I just started thinking like, wow, everything is shut down. Like literally it's at a standstill. I mean, or the way that what the norms are not the norms. And in that, I started talking, to Lou, and just talking to him about repositioning the way that we think, and also starting to be still and figure out what it is that you need to be doing. Because usually when something stops like that, I love escape rooms. I love puzzles. I start thinking like, okay, in this, there's still got to be something I can be doing to be of assistance to others around me or to be productive. I'm always trying to figure that out. I want to do that till my last breath. Like I have to do that. I'll go crazy if I'm not being productive in that way, and again assisting others around me. So once I got past that initial like shell shock of the baby mass hysteria, people just like in panic mode, I think I have a peace once we started kind of putting together, kind of like getting together. Okay, you know what's come to a stop and what hasn't come to a stop. Okay, we can't do this. We know all the things we can't do, but what can we do? And what are things that we had to pause on, or we've maybe found ourselves neglecting, or we didn't have time for, that we can actually lend that time and creative energy to now. If you have the means, like, let's do it. If you have, so once I got back into me, like, I'm like, okay, I have my mind. I have opportunity, I can make use of this. I'm cool now. I'm a spiritual person, not a religious one. And again, I have my own relationship, and so I have a peace, still in your flesh. You're seeing stuff happen and it's like, whoa, but there's a peace within me, because I've been hearing a lot lately. And again, it's no dig on anybody else. Pray, 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 pray. And it's like, when you talking, you can't hear. If I'm always asking, you can't hear. So my piece is be still. And in that stillness, you still are asking, seeking, and knocking. I'm not asking like, oh, do this. I'm asking, what do I need to do? And I incline my ear to hear. Where should I be? How should I be assisting? How do I need to move with this? So that's even peace when I go into the store. I'm not trying to stock up on toilet paper. I'm just trying to get what I need. You know what I'm saying? I'm just trying to, okay, we almost out of stuff, because you know how we shop for, all the stuff that we were looking for. Man, we were so fortunate. I love fresh fruit. I love, spinach and vegetables, and those are things we had to get every 2 to 3 days because it goes bad. The frozen food section was like foreign to me. We don't have a microwave. So after I went through my crazy stuff, it's still a journey right now, because we don't know. But the peace I find in this right now is that I'm active. I'm in my bag right now. I'm doing what I know I'm supposed to be doing amongst all this chaos. I'm still getting things done. So if this is it, like they said, this could be it. I died doing what I love, creating.
Already can't get no profound than that. Yeah, no, for me personally, I feel the same way to a degree, where it wasn't necessarily like, oh, let me sit down and think and not speak, but really hear God or whatnot, because like she said, she's spiritual, and so am I. I have my own relationship. My whole thing was like, look, everything that people been telling us to do, and I'm not trying to be funny, we was already doing it. Like when it's like, hey, make sure you washing your hands. It's like, damn, so I mean the last, I don't know, 2,000 years or whatever, boys been running around here and ain't been cleaning their hands after, certain activities. Like, that's something that needs to be said now. Or what's the other one? Make sure that you're not in contact with 10 or 20 people. Look, man, I'm an alpha male. I don't hang around big groups no ways. Like, I've never really been super huge on clubs or even going as big as a sports fan I am. I don't go to like football games, basketball games. Like, hey, I need to be in the press box. I don't want to be where everybody's congregating at, so that's never been my style. I think the only thing that kind of, had me here like, damn, like for real, y'all just gonna do Operation Lockdown like that is finance because I'm a numbers guy. So it's like when I'm moving around and stuff, what you got, with everything being shut down, obviously, income opportunity starts to dwindle a little bit. But with that being said, that's where B came in and it was like, yeah. So while you over there, understanding like, oh, I've been here before in a sense, not necessarily with the virus, but I'm from Texas, so we had Hurricane Ike and Hurricane Katrina where, they kind of shut down a lot of things because the weather like just killed everything, so that's not something that I'm not accustomed to. It's just that more or less it's like, okay, dang, man, like, oh, right, I'm used to bringing this in every week or whatever the case may be, or however I'm making my income because the city is moving and shaking. Now that it's not, okay, man, all right, well, how am I gonna make this money? But then at the same time, like I said, she came into play and was like, nah, let me be quiet and figure out how we can utilize this time to do some other things. And Fit Radio was one amongst, generate some different marketing ideas for the other stuff, like Recess. I got the opportunity to kind of take myself to school a little bit more on the marketing concept, the new age marketing concepts for music and how to uh, get my followers and stuff like that turned into fans. Just different things to progress the knowledge that I already have. Reading books, that's a lost art. You know what I'm saying? So taking time to do that stuff, develop yourself, find intricate ways or different ways to, if you're an entrepreneur, how to build your brand. And, with everybody being entrepreneurs in the house, the income flow didn't necessarily stop. The way I'm saying is just more or less like, because like case in point example with Recess that deals with people. When you say we can't have 10 or more people, Recess consists of meeting new people. So that's what I mean when I say, okay, dang, how we gonna bring in, how we gonna replace that? But like I said, this time that we are in right now, it's like, okay, like she said, let's sit down, listen. We already been praying, we already been washing our hands. So let's figure out a way to be more productive, more efficient. So that's how I really took it. I mean, it at the end of the day, it ain't nothing that we can do as people that's gonna stop you from catching that if you gonna catch it. That's where my faith comes in. That it's like, hey, I'm not gonna be foolish with it, but at the same time, I'm not gonna let no outlet have me running in the store trying to karate kick somebody for some toilet paper. I'm just not finna go into all that because we get some text message that say, man, you need to stock up on water. Like, they act like somebody finna drop a nuke or something. And again, I'm not being insensitive. It's just that I think we just gotta take a breath and realize, like, we pretty resilient. I mean, I think we're built to be resilient. And that's all I got to really say on that aspect. But I'm pretty good with it.
I think that and you always say I'm really optimistic, but the part that I'm finding like I get more and more excited about, I was thinking, and every day, I think that we should practice in renewing our minds. Um, it's really a mental growth that we're going through, and sometimes you don't go through something. My things, you grow through something, and so right now it's really refreshing to see. I was just telling Jay today. how we looked on the Apple box, and I was like, oh, because I'm at the
The
movies. Just
movie
for those who don't know,
buff.
I'm at the movies. Like my calendar is done out. Like all these movies that they stopped. I'm like, but Mulan was coming out, and Bloodshot came out, and The Hunt. Like that is my guilty pleasure. I'm that person. I love movies, and so I looked on the Apple box the other day, and I'm like, oh, there's Bloodshot. Oh, there's The Gentleman. Oh, there's The Hunt. These are all movies that were released, 2 weeks ago, but they're available to buy now for $19.99. So immediately, me being the frugal person I am too, I was like, well, dang, if we went and the early bird show is $5, that's five times, five. Whatever. So I'm just, and again, I'm getting deeper off into that with the numbers, but I thought. Remember a while back I said that it would be really cool if people had the option that didn't want to go be in the theater, that didn't want to be amongst other people, because I wanted that. That was me. I wanted to have that available. Boom, when the movie dropped, I wanted it on demand, and I wanted to be able to pay for it. And I said, how could they actually come up with a way where you paid for it that one viewing, you didn't get to keep it because people get real slick with it, and now people aren't going to the show because it's like another way of a clear bootleg, so I wanted that. So the cool thing, I think the great thing that's happening right now is that people are having to be more innovative, and they're having to do things in a sense that they, even marketing wise, they're having to figure it out. And I know for some it's like, I don't want to figure it out, but you might be exactly where you need to be right now. That person is like, I wanted to do a YouTube channel, but I just never had time. But now they've been temporarily laid off, or they've been, asked to work from home. You have access, or you have the freedom. No one's kind of like policing your time. So I think the good thing about this right now is to really like be still and kind of think about what it is that you need to be doing. For some, it may be, man, I've been wanting to work from home for so long, and now they had to send me home. That's the silver. That's the what is it, the silver lining in the cloud. So now when this blows over, and that's what I'm rooting for, all these things that they would have never tried, all these things that weren't doable, they had to do them. So in this shutdown, it's like, wow, people are having to work from home. This was possible this whole time. Maybe a company's going to realize we don't have to pay for overhead, or let's give our employees this option now going forward. And maybe a single mom can be home, or maybe somebody can have the flexibility to be home.
Or it'll save our overhead on a building.
Yeah, right. Or maybe, again, like I said, somebody will have that flexibility to, work from home and also work on their passion and purpose. They mix in the soaps, you know what I mean? Or they have the headset on, going from the kitchen to their kitchen, to the living room. Or maybe someone lost their job. They were laid off. They don't have that, because we know that that's happened to some people too. They didn't get sent home to, sent to work from home. They're laid off, or they were fired because the company has said, we got to figure out, so we got to let you go. And they've, filed for their unemployment. But in that, now they're thinking, and it's like, you got to go back to that idea that sometimes I believe that we're looking for the millions a different way. We profess that we are, we're going to be millionaires, or we're going to have, the money is working for us and we're not working for our money. We have this opportunity, and the opportunity was the seed that was planted in our head, and all we had to do was execute or bring the idea to fruition. People did more with less. So sometimes it's just about, it's not the aesthetics of it. It's like, you have the computer, you have the mic, you can record in the closet, whatever it is. This is, in all the craziness, and this is, again, I get a lot of flack for this because I'm that person that digs through all the stuff. It's like, I am looking at, wow, this is a time for those opportunists out there. This is the time for those people that are like, what? You have to figure this out. And again, it's not in a bad way. It's just like, there are things that you couldn't do because of the situation. I looked at how they're doing this stuff with mortgage now. They're going to put the payment on the back end. Evictions are delayed. People are more understanding. You can call in and it's like, our son had to call in for his insurance that's due because he's like, I want to delay that. They told him he doesn't have to, worry about that till April 30th. So that's this month and then next month in a sense. So it's like people, because we're all being affected, the mindset is changing. Someone that wasn't accessible before, someone that didn't have the understanding, it was limited because they weren't affected. Someone that maybe, didn't have the empathy. Now, everyone, no matter what your social status is, no matter what, I understand somebody may be able to have somebody, ship tissue to them, but they're still affected. We all are told to practice social distancing. We all have been told to stay away from gathering, of 10 or more, and they're cracking down on a bit more. So everyone now is like sat down, so it's like in that, it's like, what do I need to be doing? I believe that people are going to give money to other people. I believe that ideas are going to, be birthed through this, what some will call a crisis or turmoil. I believe that we'll be better after this. And some people will be in a better position after this because of the opportunity that is in this crazy like chaos, so that's where my piece is with it. And I can't even say it enough because this platform again, I love that we touch because it's relatable on what's going on with us. But I just hope that again, that people, anybody that listens to this, our 7 Instagram followers,
7 million is how we visualize.
Yeah, I mean, man, listen, if I could just help one person, I'm loving it. If one person hears this and it assists them, it inspires them, it impacts and empowers them in some shape, form, fashion, man, that's it for me. I love it. I'm old school where, it's marketing and stuff. Lou gets on me about it, but word of mouth is the best form. Like that when someone has a positive experience, great customer service, it's nothing like it. People keep going to the same places over and over again because they got the best coffee there. They love how they're treated. So again, if we had one person, just one person, that's all I want is one, not 1 million. And I mean, hey, I know how you are, like it could get there, but if it never did, my goal is to get the information, to get the, the emotion, to get the push, to get the yay to whomever it needs to get to. Whoever.
That's why you gonna get that million, because you worried about that one that you got. Bam, just like that.
Quarantine is what? Is it fun?
You know what? For me, it has been
a correction, as they say.
It's not,
this is not quarantine.
It's not
You're not
quarantine.
on quarantine. Right. I don't know why.
In light of things, we gonna call it baby quarantine.
Well, I think they kept saying, "Don't say quarantine because quarantine means that you have it. It's supposed to be social distancing and staying at home."
But here's the kicker. We ain't the ones that said that first. Y'all dropped that Q word on all of the social media platforms. Yeah, like we didn't do that. We just took it and ran with it. But we know that this is not a real quarantine. But it's just a safety precaution. I am messing up words. What ain't about to ask you. Look, you know what I was trying to say. But yeah, in response to that, I think, we've had some pretty cool days. Like I've spent the whole first week laying on my backside for 13 hours. Like I've never gotten so much sleep. I know she say I'm the sleep monster and I can just drop dead. If she say go to sleep, I'll go to sleep. But the thing is, it's never been uninterrupted.
You were shut down. It's like, what you gonna do? Like, you didn't even feel like I have to. It's
I
like,
ain't have
where
to
you
do
going?
nothing. Where I'm gonna go?
Lay down.
Like I seen a meme. I seen a meme on Instagram, and it might have been my cousin that put it up. She always posts some crazy stuff. It said, "Yeah, now that we on quarantine, where all you cheaters gonna say y'all going to now?
To bed.
Cause y'all ain't got nowhere to go. Everything shut down. So, but nah, I ain't have nowhere to go, and it felt, for me, honestly, it felt damn good to not have no agenda. You know, obviously we just had spent the first 20-25 minutes about talking about utilizing the time and figuring out, you know, where God is leading you, or whoever, you know, you worship or whatever you do is leading you to. So the other thing is, some people really needed that rest, and I'm one of them. So yeah, that first week, I mean, I enjoyed that. Obviously, you know, we man, I binge watched so much of this anime. I done drove B crazy with it. I'm I'm always alluding something to chakra now, but yeah, nah. The other thing is, you know, I mean, we, like she said, we've always as a family, you know, played games and stuff like that. But you know, it just gave us an opportunity to do it again, because she just obviously alluded to everybody in here being entrepreneurs as well. So the kiddos been super busy with their endeavors. I've been super busy. Bear's been formulating and being super busy and stuff. So we just been passing by one another.
Because we see each other and we work together, and then we get time, but we work together more than anything. So you kind of sometimes equate that to, we do see each other, but it's like, it's the type of time, like we got to play Scrabble and dominoes, and we set up till 5 in the morning talking about music.
We were supposed to play dominoes the day before we actually did it. But we sat our fat asses right in front of the TV and dissected so many music videos. Like, why they put her in the video? Why he rapping like that? Or just,
and we went back
to
like old school too, like Paula Abdul and Janet Jackson. We just went. It was just so. I think the peace of mind, though, just having peace. Like, you can't. You know, it's like you can't do it. You can't. It's nothing you can do right now. And that, you said earlier, you alluded to, you said something about what God is, or whatever you believe in. And it's interesting for those of you that came up, you know, that are familiar with different Bible references. It brought to my remembrance in the Old Testament, reading about manna, and how there was a time, the story goes, where it was like no food, nothing at all, and God had manna coming down from the sky, and the instruction was given that you're not supposed to save anything, nothing. You just eat what, you know, for the day, and you're done with it. And some people, of course, didn't listen. They were hoarding tissue and hand sanitizer. No, back then. No, but they were hoarding. They were trying to save manna for the next day, and it would end up being rotten and spoiled. They couldn't use it. And then it also brought to my remembrance again spiritually, just like where it's like, you know, you pray for God to give you your daily bread, and that's just for me specifically, and for those of you that, you know, sharing that same spiritual like reference to the Bible, or just stories you've heard, those in particular. But it really made me think, this is really what's happening right now. Like, and that's where I find peace in, like, daily bread, like filet mignon, peanut butter and jelly. We're eating, like, it's a mindset right now, and I really hope that others can see it that way. Like, if you ate today, if you washed your hands, but if you ate today,
we gonna pound that to the ground,
because it's so funny. Like, you know to wash your hands, but if you ate today, and the priceless things, another thing that people are realizing, because I am in the marketing part of it, and because one of my passions is recess about people when they're together but they're not connecting. Can you imagine? And I was telling Lou the other day, people that were going to bars, they were surrounded by people, and they were like, you know, having drinks, but they weren't connecting with those people. Now they're in complete isolation. Some people that we know are going crazy right now because they can't get to a happy hour, because that was their connection. That was their form of company. No, they weren't talking to the people around them. It was just, they were amongst groups of people. They were in the spot, you know, they were where it was happening. And now they can't go do that. So now they don't have that false sense of company. And when we were up the other night, like, we can go from one room to the other room in this house and immediately have company, you know, immediately it's four of us, at the round table. Immediately, if I want to go to the front, I see, our son, have a conversation with him. I could jump to the next room with our daughter, talk with her. If we want to watch a tear jerker together or whatever, we can do that. If I want to come in and lay up with Lou and critique his crazy anime that he's watching at the time, or I want to take him on a crazy ride and pick some whack horror movie or go on some binge on
I like
Netflix
to
and say,
deal with Jerry Springer and that Judge show.
oh yeah, but it's like, but he's here. It's like, ooh, let's watch this, and we do our little fake commentary through. It is such a blessing. It's truly blessed beyond any intangible, anything that money, like, you can't buy that. And I think that's something else that people are having to realize now. Like, oh my goodness, I really didn't realize I'm not really connected to anybody else. Like, there's no one to call. There's no one, I would just go in these places and be amongst people. Or what did they say? Have you ever been amongst people and you were alone? They were still alone, but in their mind they weren't. I feel so bad for that. So that's another thing I told them with Real Fit, and with even our kids do YouTube. It's like, we want to bring people company right now. We want to bring people come into your living room, through your speakers, in your car, however you get this, through Instagram, IGTV, SoundCloud. However, you want to make sure, my thing is, you want to always leave a legacy, a catalyst, a stepping stone for someone else to be their best. And again, back to our original thing, and you guys are probably like, does this girl ever not say this? To impact, empower, inspire. I feel like you're not doing anything if you're not making those better around you. So even in that, you might want to think about, how can you, be better for someone else, even if it's something under this quarantine, or this, us being isolated like this. If you go to the store and you get some tissue, you might laugh at this, but you might want to go give a few rolls to somebody. You might want to break open that pack and do that. You might want to, see who you can give a meal to. You might have to get to know your neighbor down the way. And you might think this is not the time, but this might be the exact time to do that. You might have an elderly neighbor that you see all the time through passing. And it's like, you might want to knock on the door and it's like, hey, you don't know me. I'm down the hall. I left something for you at your front door. You don't even have to open it right now. You know what I mean? It's just here for you. It's just some toiletries, or I just, thought, I thought about you when I was out. These are things I believe, if we would be like this more, I know this is cliche, but the world would be a better place. But I mean, I feel that. So, I really feel that. I'm very passionate about it. And I always get on everybody in here, and myself first. No plan, lose focus, move too slow. And people lack consistency and commitment. When you say you want to move forward in something, those are the two things that will kill off the bringing the passion or purpose to fruition. So in that, we are going to commit to, even beyond this, because this too shall pass, putting out a podcast once a week, and that's just us checking in, and not so much as the temperature, but just making it a point to bring some positivity, to share our thoughts on not just current situations. It just might be something that came to mind, a conversation that we have. We'll bring that to you, and again, put it out in the world, and however or whoever is supposed to get to, it will. So you'll be hearing from us once a week. We'll figure out the set day that we're gonna put this out there, because Lou's the guy for that. He's the engineer. He's gonna edit. He's gonna do the whole little picture. I'm so bad with that stuff.
But that's why you got a team.
Yeah, I'm so bad with that. I'm the person that'll come in and say, I have this idea. I see it like this, and this. And so I've been so blessed that I have not even just him. Our children are like that too. I can go to any of them and I start talking, and what's in my mind, they assist me with giving birth to it. And I just, I want to be able to do that for others. And So we gonna figure it out because I don't know how long it takes to edit, or if this one will be actually two, because we're not timing them.
Nah,
But
I think the the greatest disservice we can do with this podcast is try to cap it on a time, or try to script it. I mean, obviously, like I said, I've been looking at quite a few podcasts as of late. Big fan of a few of them.
you've always not just you've
Yeah,
always there's
well,
certain ones you always
whether
you
it's
just
podcasts or interviews or something, I'm always divulging
empowering.
information. I mean, or not really divulging, getting some information divulged to me, in some form or another. But I'm saying that to say, like, yeah, no, I think, obviously we'll come in with, a topic in mind, but if it veers left, veer right, or we stop, I think that's exactly how it's supposed to be, because that's how conversations are. You don't just script out a conversation when you go to your homeboy house or your girl's house, or whoever it is that you kick it with. So I think this is exactly what it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be here where we chopping it up. Some may be 10, 15 minutes, 30 minutes, and then you may have one that's an hour. And it just depends on the flow. But yeah, nah, I think this is exactly what it's supposed to be. Now I'll make sure that it's done. And we'll come together and figure out the specific day that we'll drop consistently. Um, because like she said, that's super important. We don't want to have you guys like hearing this one is like, man, this is dope, and then y'all don't hear from us for a month. So we want to make sure, we get that squared away. But she's a hell of a planner, so I'm sure that'll be just fine. The content is just gonna be amazing, because we be having so many crazy conversations, and I mean crazy in a good way, like things that people would love to be like, man, y'all really was talking about that. I was just trying to ask one of my friends and my husband about that the other day, and they act like they ain't know, like they ain't understand where I was coming from. Like just anything, or y'all may have been on the same wavelength and just wish other people understood what you were saying. Well, now it's two other people in the world that thinks just like you in
Not
certain
alone.
areas.
You're not alone. But and just to kind of piggyback off of that, when you said having a set date, I find it, and that's a whole nother conversation. We talk all the time like this, but I find that we'll commit to being to work based on the hours, 9 to 5, whatever schedule they set for us, rotating schedules, everything. But we will not commit. I have to get on somebody's butt, my daughter's butt, my son's butt the other day, because it's like, yeah, we're gonna upload. We just haven't set we're gonna do it, and it's like, what day? Create a schedule, create the structure. I know that things happen, but some people it leaves you like an out. So it's my call to action item, for some of you out there that may be struggling with that. Put it in stone. Don't worry about what's going to happen, and stop already like speaking what's going to happen already. You just like, I know if I say I'm going to do this on Wednesday, it's not going to happen because I'm not going to have time. You don't do that with anything else, with building other people's empires, with being, dependable for other people. If somebody asks you to be somewhere, and all of us that are dependable and responsible, if your family member, your friend, your ace coon boom, whoever it is says, hey, I need you to be here tomorrow at 9. You don't say, I don't know if I could be there tomorrow at 9, because if I say I'm gonna be there, you gonna do that, because that's how committed you are, and you gonna do it. There's follow through. If the job says, in order for you, this is the job, these are the requirements, you need to be here from 9 to 5, or whatever, or in the schedule. Well, next week, I don't know what your schedule is. Schedule comes out on Thursday. You get that schedule and you get there, because that's what you've committed to doing. It's not so much as, well, they paying me. No, you committed to do it. You committed to be there on time, and you committed to perform the duties or whatever you signed up for that particular position. So don't shortchange yourself with what you really are passionate about, or whatever it is that you are putting off. It's like, do it. Commit to it. And even in that, like I'm saying, even what we just said, we'll figure out the date because this will be the first one that he's editing again, and we're gonna stick to it. And it's like we're gonna push to stick, to it, because this is something that we're committed to. And usually, the beauty in this is not really for us; it's for others. So if you feel like, if I don't do it, it's nothing. Don't think of it that way. Somebody's waiting on you. Somebody needs what you have. It's not always about money. It could be energy. It could be time. It could be that idea you're sitting on. Whatever it is, there's someone that's waiting on you. And, if you have a heart, you would feel that like, dang, somebody's waiting on what I've been sitting on. So it's not just about you. It's about you affecting others, empowering others, inspiring others, assisting others around you. So look at it that way if you can. And I could go on. They hear this all day, every day in the house. This is how my mind works.
You gonna hear it.
So because he said that, commit to something, commit to it, and push, work your butt off to see it through. Really push, like give birth to this thing. And it doesn't have to be a lot, even if it's about showing up, and this ain't just for everybody else. Sometimes you got to do some self-care. If it's like, you know what, I've had this yoga DVD sitting in the front and I've been saying I'm going to, put it on, but I never had time. Well, you got time now. You got time. A lot of us have. Whatever it is, roll the mat out. Commit to doing that yoga an hour, a day if you can, or once a week. It could, whatever it is. This is the time to commit. This is the time to create. This is the time to change your perspective, your mindset. This is the time to be still and listening. Like, what do I need to be doing to impact, empower, inspire, better those around me? And I think we probably can wrap. We can wrap up on that because I get excited.
Yeah, no. Yeah. I was gonna tell you I ain't got nothing to say after that.
Back.
I mean, yeah. So yeah.
Why are you saying that? You're so silly.
No.
We're back and we better.
Yeah.
You're so silly. Yeah, you're like a little kid. Yeah.
No, but for real.
Yeah. Are you? Is that your? Who's that? Who's that? 21. Who says yeah?
That probably.
But 21 makes me kind of sleep on him.
I did, but no, I did that because the little boy that we watched all the time with the Sprite. Yeah.
I was on top.
Yeah, I was on top.
That's when you binge too many kid YouTube videos. Man, this is too much. But I'm excited, and we're gonna actually too. I just thought of it right now. We're going to have a Gmail. I'm going to get that together tonight, and I hope it's not taken. But I'm gonna go ahead and get
you already got one.
I don't think I do.
Yeah, you do.
Are you sure?
Because you can always start a SoundCloud with
Let me see.
Gmail. You already tied up real
This is how I'm moving around and not moving around. Let's see.
Look.
I sure do. I sure do.
I told you that already.
So, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, ideas, you just want to communicate with us, drop us an email. And it's realfitradio@gmail.com. That's real, F-I-T, radio@gmail.com. I'm looking forward to hearing from that 1, 2, whatever. Just communicate with us. And if it's something that you'd like to have an open discussion about, dialogue, we are here. We can talk about it, and we love to hear from you. And I'm so glad to be back. I feel good right now. Really, I really feel good. Like this, I feel good. I feel like I'm another piece of me doing what I'm supposed to be doing,
And that's what it's all about. To add, and obviously we're closing out, but yeah, I will be putting these on for now, SoundCloud and also YouTube. I don't know if I should just continue to put it on my YouTube channel, or should we create a Real Fit YouTube channel as well?
And then we have the Instagram too.
Well,
yeah, well, I don't know.
But that's for the clips and stuff.
Is there
that's
IGTV there? You know, I don't know that. Is that where the
segment.
whole segment would be?
Well, I don't know how long IGTV segments could be, but you actually probably could see if that can work. But yeah, we'll
just
work
bear
that
with
out.
us. We're gonna figure it out.
I know definitely SoundCloud will be a place where it'll be located at, as well as YouTube. Now, whether or not, like I said, we'll create another YouTube channel for that, or you can just jump to my YouTube channel, because I'll have a playlist button where you go to all the segments, so you ain't looking for them. It'll be dummy proof.
And if they go to the Instagram, which is Real Fit Radio, or at Real Fit Radio, you can go there, and we'll just put the current link for the SoundCloud for whatever our most recent segment is.
Or the YouTube link, whichever one.
Because right now I'm showing the SoundCloud link of the one.
The last one we did from 1,000 years ago.
2017.
Yeah.
Wow.
And it's March.
Wait a minute. March. We did our last one March 30th of 2017. That was our last upload. So it took us how many years?
2 years. No, 3 years. It's 2020.
And he had to quarantine us
to get back to the idea. Ain't that some shit?
But you know what? We're back. And we're gonna stay here. We're gonna be here. Cause I feel good. So yeah. Thank you for listening. I hope that we empowered, impacted, inspired in some way, shape, form, or fashion through this platform. You were made better. You have a different perspective. Until next time, think of ways that you can do the same. Empower, impact, inspire those around you. Thank you for listening to Real Fit Radio.